The DC Bar Foundation was founded in 1977, and since the beginning, the mission has been focused on helping district residents who are in desperate need of help get legal support for their problems.
For years, legal services organizations have talked about, is there a way to develop a single entry point where clients can talk to someone to say, this is what my problem is? Coordinated intake and referral system is exactly that. What you get to do is you get to call in, tell someone what the problem is, and then they refer you to legal services organizations. A lot of times the story the client is telling is a traumatic story, and they don't like to live it over and over again with different people. But rather, if you can create this central point of entry, you can cut down on the number of times you have to repeat your story.
Our systems are designed in ways that just quite frankly aren't working for the people who have to use them and access them. And so how do we bring folks across fields, across sectors, across issue areas to work together to really center DC residents?
Our ability to ensure that DC residents who are low income, disenfranchised, or underserved have access to free civil legal aid is paramount.
Our community is really struggling. Our community was struggling before the pandemic, and our community is struggling now. And so by working together, by maximizing our resources and collaborating and knowing that not one of us individually can solve the problem, but together we can make a much bigger difference. One of the hardest things about being a legal services provider is not being able to help someone who comes in for services to a clinic. The Legal Aid Transformations Network is building those relationships so that when someone comes in and we don't have the capacity to help them, either because their need is outside of our scope or we're over capacity, we know where to send them.
In many ways, our grantee partners are making their services available where clients need it most. We have many grantee partners who have co-located their offices in the courthouse, and so those who don't have representation are able to access those services right when they need them. That has made a substantial difference in terms of being able to address those needs immediately and before folks find themselves in a situation where they've already gone through a court proceeding and don't have legal representation. Everyone deserves access to justice because if we are not able to provide that support to meet those needs, those are issues that are going to escalate. Those are issues that will, in many cases, destroy families, destroy communities.
I think it's important to acknowledge what's happening right now on the front lines is really important. There's incredible legal services being delivered right here in our community.
I think well-being, and certainly how we define well-being, really aligns with the DC Bar Foundation's core values. Their core values really are around being community-centric, and we often say that well-being really is about what matters to people. And you can't actually know what matters to people unless you are really centering community and the people who are most impacted by our systems and our structures. We do the work we do because there's inequitable access to well-being. And certainly the work of the DC Bar Foundation really is about how do we make the civil legal justice system equitable for everyone, and how do we make it easy, particularly for those vulnerable residents in DC, to access the services, the support, the programs that they need.
We're on this mission because when you face a serious civil legal need and you try to face that need on your own without an attorney or without any legal assistance, the likelihood of you getting the same outcome that another person who does have legal assistance or does have an attorney standing there with them is wildly different. And so our mission is about ensuring that people have a fair shot.
The DC Bar Foundation is innovative.
The DC Bar Foundation is bold.
The DC Bar Foundation is impactful.
The DC Bar Foundation is a game changer.